All right, so you guys are getting into the thick of it right now. You're about to encounter one of the hardest ethical theories that I had to do because it's just so strict. And it was really hard for me to understand this guy because he likes to describe things 5 pages at a time. So hopefully, I could take some of the burn off for you and we could get through this one. So this discussion board is going to be about deontology. And this is kind of us talking about Immanuel Kant's ideas of his ethical theory, and we're going to apply it to an ethical dilemma. All right, so let me discuss it in more detail for you. So for this one, what you guys are going to do is you have three things to do. I'm going to go over it quickly and then you can stick around for more details. But basically, you're going to read this one. So there's a glare. You're going to read this one right here. And this one is going to explain to you what is the difference between these two right here. And if you stick around, I'll tell you a little more. So this one will help you explain this one. And then as you read in the book chapters, in that as well, it's going to talk about his deontological categorical imperatives. I talk about that here in my mini lecture. I want you to create one. I'm going to do it here in a minute if you want to see what that looks like. And then once you have all of this knowledge, after you've explained this and you've explained this, you're going to apply it to one of these right here. And you're going to tell me, like, hey, I read this one and there's no way deontology would accept this at all, and tell me why. Or maybe you read this one and you'd be like, yeah, actually, that's a lot. Deontology would be all over that. So basically, what you're doing is getting a foundation for the material and then seeing if you could apply it. Don't worry if you're wrong or you're off. This is the discussion board, so we will be going back and forth. There's not 100% right answer because how we apply these ethics can be very personal. So that's why we have this discussion board to be like, hey, I didn't think that could apply. Are you sure about this or this? Or be like, hey, you know what? Now that you explained it that way, I totally could see how that could be. So this is just a spot for us to just get it out there. So if you stick around, I will give you way more details. All right, so deontology. I have plenty of videos that explain this in more detail, so I'm not going to go into strict detail right now. But deontology is the theory that I have a duty and obligation and a focus to be very specific and strict. For example, the Ten Commandments in the Christian faith is a good example of a categorical imperative. At no time would Kant consider those flexible. And he was a Christian himself, and he believed that those 10 commandments was not up for debate. He did not get along with his parents at all, but that boy honored his mom and his daddy. Do not lie. He said that even if someone was begging for sanctuary in your house and you hid them in your house and someone banged on your door and said, "Hey, is so and so here?" You are obligated to say, "Yes, they are here." So you absolutely could not lie. So a categorical imperative is something that absolutely cannot fluctuate at all. And that's what makes this ethical theory so hard to apply in real life because real life is flexible. Real life is gray sometimes. Okay, so teleological, I want to say is in contrast, but it's debatable. Teleological or the telos of something, that is where a thing has a purpose by its own nature. For example, like an acorn is going to be a maple tree or an oak tree. I think it's an oak tree. So an acorn is going to be an oak tree. It has no choice. Um, these Kleenexes, these Kleenexes have no choice but to wipe something. That's it. So these two kind of work in conjunction. Kant believed that everything had a purpose, and within all of that, everything has a telos. But telos, you could debate on what its purpose is, I guess. What's the purpose of a tree? To shade? No. To give oxygen? No. To house the squirrels. So you see how you could move a little bit on that one, where deontological, categorical imperatives cannot change. So that's what we're talking about right here. We kind of want you to flesh it out, talk it out, maybe give some examples, and then discuss the categorical imperative. I just gave you an example. I will use his. So now no one can use mine. No, you can. But religion is a really good one to use when it comes to categorical imperative. Clearly, the God of that religion is being very specific what they want you to do. You could argue that the laws of physics are immutable. Gravity is gravity, So, what would be a categorical imperative, that I could argue that all moms worry when their kids leave? You might be able to debate with me, but hey, that's philosophy class. So then we're going to apply it. So at this point, I want you to pick one of these. Now, these are a little distressing at some of these. Um, and I've had students debate back and forth, like, hey, this one is not theology. Where another student successfully argued and convinced the class that it was. So, like I said before, there's going to be no right or wrong answer when you apply this, as long as you're trying to get from A to B to equal C. If we see the plus and minuses not adding up, that's what the replies are for, to kind of help realign us all. All right, so let me know if you need any help, and have fun with this one. Just kind of let your mind wander. Don't worry about how you sound or how it looks. Just put your thoughts out there for all of us.